Welcome now to the RONDO Community Music Series here at Walker West in St. Paul on Selby Avenue, the historic Selby Avenue, here in St. Paul, Minnesota. I'm Jackie Maddox, Lady J from KFAI Radio, and I'm honored to be a part of this music series. You know, full disclosure, I myself am an author with a book out in print. So believe me when I tell you that the pen is mightier than the sword. And quite often it's deadlier because that which is in print endures. It's indelible. That means it cannot be erased, okay? It can't be removed. It can't be washed away. And it certainly cannot be whitewashed away. Words survive long after the speaker of those words has survived. Words have power. Words have purpose. Words have transcendence. Help me welcome to the stage a young lady who's a poet, she's an author, and she's a spoken word warrior. We're going to ask Miss Marie Chante to join us here on stage. Joined by Mr. Jamie Carter on guitar. Put your hands together.
Hey, y'all. How y'all doing? I'm so nervous. I love you too. Hi, Samaj. My family is in the audience. Thank you. And online. Thank you. I'm usually online, man in the crowd cast, so this is different. But I'm grateful to be here. My name is Marie Chante. My last name is Flowers. Thank you. He's one of them. That's my uncle. And yeah, I'm really nervous, like extremely nervous. And it's okay, because I'm not like nervous in a scared way. Thank you. My grandmama gave me this scarf. And so there will be a couple of poems dedicated to her, and I got here and was like, I forgot it anyway. So I'm not nervous because I'm scared to be up here. I'm nervous because this is a gift, and it does not come easy or lightly. And there have been many dark days of writing, but many days filled with light and sunshine. And so to be full circle in a moment like this is like, there's so many butterflies dancing on the inside of me. So that's what the nervous is about, y'all, okay? Okay. So I'm going to tell some stories, some lived and shared experiences of my own and others, loved ones, some love stories to music. In preparing for this show, I thought, oh, finally, I get to do music with like a bunch of musicians, and it's going to be so dope. And then I heard the Spirit say, you can't hide behind the music. And for me, exactly. For me, what that meant was I had to get up here real raw and vulnerable and just be a poet. And I'm okay with that. My first love is music, and I wanted to be a singer when I was a kid. So I was excited to get up here with musicians. And then I was preparing, and I kept going inside myself, and I heard guitar strings. And I thought, Jamie. So, okay. I need a bottle of water, please. Okay. Thank you, Miss Penda. Thank you, cousin. This is my cousin. Hey, cousin. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Ooh. 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 Who better than me to tell my story? Who better than me to tell my story? The words in which God put on my heart before he sent me down here from heaven, you see. He knew I would be a poet, knew I would be a writer, knew I would open up my mouth and talk, even a little girl who they said talked too much. He knew that when I grew up, I would be an orator, a public speaker, a poet, a spoken word artist. He knew that I would come alive on stage. He knew that the butterflies inside of me would dance and give me the energy to be brave. He knew that when I opened my mouth, I would have something relevant to say. Who better than me, but God. But God had a plan for me, you see. Even when life tried to silence me and told me that I should shut up because I talk too much, don't talk enough. Be careful what you say. You don't want your words to come back and bite you. But who better than me but me than to tell my stories? Nobody. The poets are gathered. The poets, they're having a reunion. Come, sit with us as we gather in the spirit of our ancestor poets. We gather on three-legged chairs, tattered floors, and sofas stained with realities that never afforded us the opportunity to be pretentious, you see. Poets have a reunion. Come, breathe with us. Sit with us as we gather in the spirit of our ancestor poets who were once gathered on three-legged chairs, tattered floors, and sofas stained with realities that wouldn't afford them opportunities to be pretentious. I do this because I am a poet. I hear you, baby. I hear you singing. I come from the deception of a married man's lust and the womb of a not-so-naive teenager, a bastard child born on Chicago's South Side in Michael Reese Hospital. I was my oldest sister's favorite baby doll, and to my father's wife, another grandchild. I was raised by women who wore repetition like they wore their bras and panties over and over again. Every child had a different daddy. From 49th in Calumet to 61st in Indiana, the only daddy in the house was our uncle, and his kids only came by to visit. I come from the homes, hotel rooms. We shared bedrooms inside the projects of someone else's mama house. I got in trouble because I didn't want to eat things like pig-eared sandwiches and hog head cheese. They could whoop me, put me in a corner and send me to bed without eating. And I pray, God, don't let them make me eat that, please. I come from dysfunction in a family where molestation was the family secret that my mother never kept quiet. And when her father did to me and my sisters what her uncle and brother did to her, she was still brave enough to be our protector, but he was our only grandpa until he died. I come from hell and high water. My mother never learned to swim, but when I wrote this poem, neither had I. But I also come from the strength of Mary Flowers, mother to Mildred Flowers, mother to me. Strong women who fought back when the world knocked them down, and we get back up and make the best of a bad situation by putting our dukes in the air for the next go-round. You see, because I also come from Bud Billiken Parade up and down King Drives, and one good reasons for one-piece rompers and jelly shoes and big Wonder Woman balloons attached to thick beige rubber bands. You can let it go if you want, my mom would warn, and I'm going to let it float out of your hand. And I remember my mama winning the lottery 3 nights in a row. Her last ticket came up missing. Who stole it to this day, we still don't know. Chicago is still my home. But I grew up here on the north side of Minneapolis. And I overcame a world with my reality shaking, with my womb growing at the age of 13. And finding out later in life that Mary was a teenage mother. You see, history repeats itself, or so it seems. And from a harsh but true reality where first loves go to prison for first-degree murder at the age of 18, my sweetheart committed suicide at the age of 16. And the fathers of my children, one lost his mind in prison, one lost his life in house fire, and the third one lost the keys to my house and the place inside my heart. You see, scars heal and bruises fade, but does the pain ever go away? Well, crying about life ain't hard to do if I think about it too long. But laughter is my sabbatical replacement, and its noise drown out the cries of being the memories of me. And then I hear, your life ain't full of tears, baby. There's a smile on the inside of you. Your life ain't always gravy, baby, but I still see life inside of you. I'm happy inside myself. You see, I've sat inside myself long enough to be depressed and cried and got through all of that, and then one day, the sun on the inside of me started shining. Somewhere, there was a rainbow inside myself, and I climbed inside myself to gather myself. I felt like there was more life inside of myself, so I hugged me and gave me permission to live. Now, see, Uncle Vernell, don't be crying, okay? I love you. I love you. That's my uncle, y'all. You know, like a brother uncle? That's our brother uncle. Love you. This poem is an ode to one of my first loves, music. My relationship with Walker West began as a parent, believe it or not, in 2008. My friend called me and said, hey, one of your kids are old enough to come to our summer camp. You want to come? And I was like, yeah, because, you know, kids in camp, get out the house, right? And we were in a building across the street. I walked in, and it felt like home, y'all. Like, I mean, home like Chicago, 49th and Calumet, 61st in Indiana, like home, like roller skate down the street home. I had that home vibe. And I've been a part of Walker West ever since. I started out as a parent and then a student services associate. And just recently, I was promoted to the director of outreach and student services. Little old me, right? I mean, you know, I'm not little, but, you know, girl. But I said all that to say God is amazing and blows my mind, and so sky's the limit, and I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. So, but this poem, thank you, I wrote because I was really in love with music. Like extremely in love, infatuated, just music could do no wrong until music did me wrong. And then I was like, oh, okay, all right. But anyway, here it goes. Dear music, you made me float today. Took me inside of all of your notes, chords, and keys. I heard a melody, and something inside my brain sparked colors, red, blue, purple, so many hues. Who are you to me, that you would love me in a way that you would make me shake? and make my skin crawl in a good way. I want to lay across every page you have and just be there inside everything you stand for. Because clearly you be having me tongue-tied. I'm going to go inside me and find out exactly what this means. You see, how can a poet fall in love with a melody? And there you were. You stood in everything I could ever imagine, and you challenged me to go deeper inside myself. You said, if you can speak, then you can sing. You ain't finna have me embarrassing myself, I told you. I know I'm no singer, although my brush is my microphone. And then when I'm in the mirror, can't nobody tell me that I don't sound like my favorite pop singer. But baby, you made me blush today. What is that thing you say? I don't get it. I can't understand where you go when you leave this world, because clearly you must be from a different dimension. Take me with you, baby. Let me float with you in that galaxy. I want to tightrope across your beats and let you find me, coming undone to the songs in which you sing to me, because music, you make me feel different in a good way. Music, you let me down today. Pulled the cloud right from underneath me. I was floating so high, and then boom, here I am standing back in reality. You ain't shit. And neither am I. So maybe we deserve each other. Maybe my pen can write the melodies that you look for when the music stops and the world comes crashing down on you, because I know that we're human, right? And music, you have this sense about yourself, like you can do no wrong, but you did me wrong. So here I am to challenge you to stand inside yourself. Look inside that mirror that you challenged me to look at. You said, come on the other side of that fear and start singing. Ha! Yeah, right. I know better than to know that I'm no singer, baby. But I can write you a poem that will heal the hurt inside your heart that no music will ever allow you to feel. Here, how about you tightrope across my lyrics? How about you wrap yourself across my beats? How about you let my words heal the wounds that are deep inside of you that no music could ever meet you in? You know that dark place that you go when the music stops and you challenge yourself? And you wrestle and ask yourself, are there more to you than the music? When you're inside that place and you hear my voice, come, speak to me. I'll be waiting. I was really floating though, y'all. Let me tell you, you meet people and they just open up your world, right? And then your world be so open, you be wide open for that person, right? And then, boom. And that's what happened. You been done that. We gonna go there and do it again, because if there's one thing I have learned about love, it's that love, 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 until you love again, and then love again, and then love again. So that's what I do. So okay. Hey, Ernest, I need you. So let's give it up for Ernest. Ernest B. Song. So Ernest is the curator of this year's RONDO Community Music Series. And there is one more show, you guys. Come back for Gerard's show, please. It's May 11th, Saturday, May 11th. All of these shows are free, so if you can't make it here in person, log on, come online. But anyway, Ernest. Ernest is our violin instructor and the mastermind behind this series here. So many patience he had with me, because I don't know what I'm doing. If I sound good, it's because y'all make me sound good. And I wrote some poems, and people was like, I like that, so I kept going. But Ernest had so much patience, and I really appreciate it. So this poem is called My Inside Smiled. And it's really an ode to me. Just my inside smiled on the peak of my weight loss journey. I lost 120 pounds. Wait a minute. I wonder if y'all gonna clap if I tell y'all I gained 100 back. Thank you. Thank you. My uncle was like, oh, no, we ain't clapping. Nope, you shouldn't went back and got that. Nope, Thank you, uncle. So, but anyway, during that time, my inside smiled like they had never done before, and it felt good, you know, because my insides had not always smiled like that, and so this poem came out of that, okay? All right. Look at you. Look at you. Stand in front of your mirror, girl, and look at you. Naked as all get out, but look at you. Smiling because you did it. You knocked off that dead weight. Challenged yourself and learned how to swim. You could actually swim. The little girl who almost drowned in the 2nd grade can swim. Look at you. Overcoming all of these obstacles. You can do burpees and sit-ups. Girl, did you just bench press? Look at you. Look at you. You done picked up all this weight that life had you carry. Survived all of this stuff. And now look at you. The girl who they said couldn't survive the odds. Never mind the crack pandemic. And how you know how crack smells by memory. But look at you, overcoming all of that. You standing inside yourself and you are searching for a new life, this new woman, this ode to yourself. You owe yourself all of this. Look at you. And there I was, looking at me, my whole me. Me, not the me who had become a mommy, or not the me who was a sister, and not the me who owed anybody anything, but me. I was looking at me, and I loved me. And I smiled again. Look at you, I told myself, look at you. And I stood there, and I just looked at me. I shedded a lot of dead weight to be here. So if I cry these tears, then let me. And if I need to go to the gym to find myself, then let me do that too. And don't stand in the way because you think I can do something else. Let me be me. Let me find my happiness where food does not make me float and a man does not give me hope. And the smiles inside myself can just be myself because, baby, look at you. Did you just do a Turkish get up? Look at you. Look at you hopping. Y'all, I jumped and caught air that day. Look at you. Look at you, I told myself. I could do it. At my highest, I was 385 pounds. And I remember my grandmother telling me, if you want to lose weight, you can do it. You've been helping me. The good Lord gonna help you now. Look at you. On the other side of all of that pain and hurt and desperation, you was desperate for yourself. Don't close your eyes, baby. Look at you. Look at you. Your insides are smiling. Let them. It felt like heaven had opened up for me and gave me everything I had asked for. Lord, if you just let me get through this cycling class with all my breath, I'm gonna come back. And I did. God, if I could just get through this boot camp, and I did. If I can do one more sit-up, and I did. And then I did another one and another one. And before I knew it, I was 120 pounds lighter. And I just sat there. And I just smiled. And I told myself, look at you. Look at you. Look at you. Look at you. Give yourself permission to look at yourself. In the middle of whatever it is that you are going through, just look at yourself. Not the you who belong to anybody else. Not the you who you think should be. Not the you who you want to be, but you. Just you. Go home and look at you. And let your inside smile too. Y'all good? How y'all doing? Y'all good? Thank you for coming. How many of you had heard of Walker West before now? Yeah. Walker West Music Academy was founded by Reverend Carl Walker and Grant West. And on any other night, they would be here. But guess what? Gladys Knight and Patti LaBelle are in town. And baby, if there is anybody that can trump my concert, it might as well be them, because if I didn't have a concert, I'd be there too. So shout out to them. They're at the gala, the Nas Gala, and we support it, and I love it. But Reverend Walker and Mr. West founded Walker West Music Academy in 1988, the middle of a crack pandemic. Babies, let them tell a story. They were looking for a safe space, and they thought, you know what, let's get these kids music. And they've been giving kids music ever since. So if you feel it led to donate and support our cause and our mission, please do so. When you leave here, if you go a block that away and make a left and go 2 blocks to Marshall and make a right, you'll see our new building. We're under construction. I know, right? It's so exciting. We're under construction, and we move in at the end of this year. Thumb cross prayers. And it's been a long time coming. They started in a 2-bedroom duplex, and here we are. So, yeah, I love it. And, oh, by the way, at the beginning, I was supposed to say, the views and opinions are not those of our board of directors, founders, or faculty. Okay, here we go. So this portion of the show, if I move this, it won't mess up nothing, will it, Jerome? Okay, those are our texts. Say hi, y'all. Okay, so this portion of the show is in honor to grief and death, because grief comes like waves, you know? And death, I've learned, has an assignment just like life does, and you have to honor it too. And so these are the poems that I wrote for my grandmother and my loved ones and my uncles and my auntie and my friends. And so there's like 3 of them, okay? So if you feel it, with me, and think about your loved ones too, okay? I don't know these by heart, not yet. I kept random things, lottery numbers, grocery lists, her dentures, his cigarette pack, the things that they touched often, or that I thought could make me smile whenever I randomly ran across them. And sometimes I'll open the box where I stuff their things inside, and I'll inhale their scent. And if this box is out of reach and I need their strength, I search through my memories. This morning, while on my 5th lap of butterfly strokes in the pool, I remembered stuffing the anxiety and fear that comes along with grief inside some random thought that I would drown in the pain of them being gone. I missed them simultaneously, my papa and my grandma knew. And suddenly my breath got short and my eyes burned from the chlorine and the tears. And I almost panicked and water got in my nose. And for a brief moment, I forgot to breathe. I almost panicked. I almost let myself go. And I forgot to inhale and exhale, to relax and keep going, to stand up and collect myself, to keep myself and keep going. I'm not sure if Rudy was a swimmer, but my grandma didn't swim. And she left us instructions. Don't put my ashes on a plane, and don't take me on no train, and you damn sure better not put me on no boat. And I'm not a swimmer, but I've gathered my composure enough to know that I can swim and not drown. So I kept my focus. I kept my mind and my heart in that moment. And I thought about their smiles and their voices and the memories of their love for me and the things that can't be boxed, and the things that I touch often, trusting that they will make me smile when I run across them. The lifelines that keep me afloat when grief randomly creeps up and tries to drown me in the fear and anxiety that comes along with it. I drown out the noise, and now I keep going. Grandma's fight was with squamous cell carcinoma, stage 4 to be exact. And she looked the doctor in his eyes and she said, shit, I'll fight the devil where I had to. And she did. The devil itself, cancer. It amazes me how this little old lady, feisty in many ways, a child of 18 siblings from Natchez, Mississippi, hailed all the way to Chicago, fought even in her own right, and would tell us the stories of how she didn't like the police and the police didn't like her. But it wasn't because she didn't like the police that the police didn't like her. It was because the police didn't like her, and that's why she didn't like them. And now I understand how her fight, all those many years, and all her many ways, resonates in me today. Because fuck cancer and everything that it stands for and everything that it would do. And I get it. This is supposed to be a family show. And one properly placed cuss word might ruin it for everybody. But I'm here to tell you that families need to know the truth. And if cancer has ever riddled your family, then you'd know that that sentiment is shared by even the youngest of us. And so we, middle finger in the air to squamous cell carcinoma, because it was my grandmama's fight. And she said, don't let it beat you, beat it. And so she said on her dying bed, I don't want to die in the hospital. And don't send me to no home. Let me go in my house. Let the windows be open and let there be music playing. And that's how she went. And however painful it was beautiful in a sense because we got a chance to usher her home. And so when we had to do the same from my uncle and many others, we know that it is an honor to see our loved ones go. And we live out their legacy in such a way that we keep going despite all the pain and despite the turmoil and despite the heaviness of not having them here. You see, there is something embedded inside of us that tells us, don't let it beat you. You beat it. And so that's what we do. We keep going You see, because Grandma's fight just was a precursor of everything that she had ever gone through. And she said, well, if the good Lord see fit for me to do anything else in this life, and I gotta go like this, then it's the Lord's will and not mine. And that gave me some kind of strength, because I don't know if I would have said that, y'all. I don't know if I'd have been so brave, so fragile in a way, but brave nonetheless. And so Grandma's fight was squamous cell carcinoma, but mine is knowing that I gotta get up every day without her here on this earth and live out of wish that she had for us. And that is to keep going and to keep living and to keep breathing. And if I say I'm gonna do something, you better do it. And to not be hard-headed, even though my butt is soft. What I love most about seeing her in those moments is that she could still crack a joke and cuss you out. And I never got her eggs right or her coffee. But one thing I did see was her pray. And that's what I'll take it with me for Grandma's fight. I feel like I did something right one day, and I'm here. And every time I say that to myself, girl, you must have did something right one day because you here now, I be smiling to myself because it amazes me how God is just, oh my gosh. Anyway. Oh, I'm believe it or not, I'm still nervous, so I almost messed up. But I'm not, okay. I've held dreams in the palm of my hand so tightly that they are engraved in my lifelines. And every day I awake to live and read what is written. I look at both my hands and remind myself that there are stories and books and poems and songs to be told. Read, shared, and sung, still no nightmare like the one she's living. I cannot utter and I understand or I know to her, because I do not. My prayer is that I won't know firsthand that life, only what she can share. And I remind myself that I am here right now for a reason, just as she, with tears dancing from her eyes, down her raised cheekbones and dipping underneath her chin, smiles and braves herself to say, he's got me here for a purpose. I don't know what it is, but when he tells me, I'm going to fulfill it, because it's a good purpose. I wonder sometimes when the people who shot my sister in the head left her for dead, that they know that she survived that night. And how every day after that she has had to fight, and she keeps going. And every time I hear Natalie laugh, I think, Lord, you are real in our life. And come what may, we'll keep going. And my sister, looking at me with this indent in her head, permanent now, says, why you got that stupid look on your face? And together we laugh, and we dry each other's tears. And I look at her and I think, the devil mad. And I'm grateful that she's still here, and that she can call me when she misses me, and that we can laugh together, and that every now and then she'll ask me to remind her of something, and I got memories inside me to last us a lifetime. And so we laugh together again, because we know that whatever the enemy had for bad, God will turn it for good. And so my sister is here for a good while longer, and I'm grateful, because according to her, whatever the purpose is that he got her here for, she gonna fulfill it. And if you know her like I know her, then she will. Thank you. So yeah, I told y'all some experiences, some lived experiences, some stories, and some poems. So I very, and for good reason, because it's a different kind of feeling when you can't hide behind the music or tell a story in a way that doesn't necessarily impact you and or someone else. And I have written to get us through that, through those times and on, some really heavy days. And so I'm grateful that there are poems inside of me yet. And so, yeah, I'm nervous, Uncle. But it's a good thing. So. You nervous? Okay, so, well, I'm going to do this one poem that a lot of people like a lot. My mama and them watching, my auntie and them watching. Hey, Auntie Sheena. I have an Auntie Sheena in Chicago. I have a sister in Texas who's watching, in Arizona. I got friends in Florida and Atlanta. Hey, y'all, they better be on, too. I don't know. Hey, Crowdcast. Thank you. Hi. Thank you for manning the Crowdcast, Tanya. Okay, so this poem, it's called Mama, I'm Hungry. You knew it. I like it when they know it. So this poem, believe it or not, oh yeah, thank you. Believe it or not, it just came one night. I was walking in the house and was listening to some kids say, Mom, I'm hungry. And I was like, boom, that's the poem. So. Mama, I'm hungry, and there's nothing to eat. Mama, I'm hungry, plenty of canned goods and no meat. Mama, I'm hungry, you're the mama, what are you gonna do? And with tears running down my face, I said, baby, mama's hungry too. Mama, I'm hungry, he says. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. My baby boy runs in the house. His hands are dirty. His face is dirty. And he's headed for my refrigerator. Talking about, Mama, I'm hungry. Boy, if you don't go in the bathroom and wash your hands and face and get your dirty butt out of my refrigerator, you better. But Mama, I'm hungry, he says. Mama, I'm hungry, he says. So I reach inside the cupboard and grab the graham crackers and I pour him a glass of milk. I said, here. Sit down and eat this. Don't mess with me because Oprah's finna come on. You see, back then, in my house, there was only one rule between the hour of 4 and 5 o'clock. If he ain't broken, bleeding, and ain't stopped breathing, then don't mess with me because it's my only downtime. But Mama, I'm hungry, he says. Mama, I'm hungry, he says. No sooner than he had eaten a snack. I said, go, get an apple. Dinner will be ready in a few. But Mama, I'm hungry, he says. Mama, I'm hungry is the name of a song that my children sang on a daily basis. And when the cupboard was bare and the refrigerator only had the bare necessities, my pretty brown babies looked to me. And so I seasoned their meals with the salt from my tears. But Mama, I'm hungry out here. Mama, I'm hungry, he said. No sooner than he had eaten dinner. And it was in this moment that I looked into this child's eyes and realized the innocence uncompromised. I said, son, sit down and talk to me. What are you hungry for? Mama, why isn't he here? Why doesn't my daddy love me, Mama? Why isn't my daddy here? I said, son, your daddy does love you. And him not being here has nothing to do with you. You see, he and I couldn't love each other like we needed to love each other. So instead of us being together, we decided to just be friends. But I promise you this. I promise you he loves you with everything a father has inside of him to love his child with. And if I could say, son, I love you in his voice, then I would. But I can't. But I can tell you in my voice, because baby, I love you. And I remember feeling you move inside my womb. I knew whoever you'd be special. And whether you are in your father's presence or not, I need you to know you are loved. But Mama, I'm hungry, he said. Mama, I'm hungry. Mama, I'm hungry, and there's nothing to eat. Mama, I'm hungry, plenty of canned goods and no meat. Mama, I'm hungry, you're the mama, what are you gonna do? And with tears running from my heart, I said, baby, mama's hungry too. That poem is, I want to say 12, 15 years old, and it still makes me choke up because it's a heavy topic, you know? Oh, Uncle, it's okay. You want my scarf? You can't have it. So, anyway, my grandmother gave me this scarf before she passed away. She said, I came over to her house one day and she said, I got something for you. Go in there and look in my bottom drawer and open the bottom drawer and you'll see it. And as soon as I opened it, I was like, Grandma, can I have, what is it? But can I have this yellow? She was like, that's it, girl. So, yeah. So this. I don't know what I was thinking it was, but she knew me because she was like, that's it. I saw it and was like, Chante would like this ugly old thing. I love this scarf. So, yeah. This poem is called Lifelines. And I want to thank you all for being a lifeline for me. Yep, you can clap. Hi, Micah. Thank you. For me, for you, for your loved ones, for considering me a lifeline. Thank you, because, you know, we need our lifelines. Hey, pretty. How you doing? You want to get on the mic? That's homage, everybody. You are everything I ever hoped for. The smile on a rainy day, the sunshine, and the reason for me to keep going. You are the, girl, I was thinking about you, so I text you, what you doing? In the moment where I felt like giving up. You are the, hey, I'm cooking and I put your name in the pot. You want something to eat? You are the, girl, I saw this plant and I thought you might like it. Because everybody knows I like plants. You are the, can you fit this? You are the, I can't fit this, can you fit it? You are the joy I sing when my melody is off key. You are the reason I smile when I don't feel like it because your smile is contagious. You are the reason I laugh at nonsense because it's all nonsense. Right, Miss Pender? You are the joy inside everything that's supposed to be miserable. We gonna keep it company just for a little while, but baby, get up. Keep going. Keep going. Keep getting up. You are the ink inside my pen, the lines on my paper, and the book that I choose to close. You are the rompers that fit right, the shoes that might just be a little too tight, but I'm gonna wear them anyway. You are the perfect shade of red on my lips. You are the reason why I cut my hair because, y'all, I had never done this before. You are the joy inside everything that seems to matter when the world was crashing down. You were the, girl, get back up, let's go outside. You are the reason I am here. And there is no other place I'd rather be than right here, right now. You are my lifelines. The poems I get to write when I can't think straight. the melodies inside the keys that I need to learn to play. You are the songs I forget to sing. Thank you for singing them back to me. You are my everything, and I appreciate you knowing that. Thank you. You cold, cousin? I'm too. Okay. I got 2 more poems, okay? I got 3. Because 1 and 2 makes 3. Oh, maybe I don't. Okay, yep, I do. My uncle asked me to throw a poem off my head. Boom. Here you go. Life was tough, and then it got easy. And then it got tough again. Made me want to climb inside myself and just die because I felt like I didn't have any friends. And then it got easy again, and then my friend showed up, and then my friend said to me, you are the reason I'm here. You see, it's not easy having to do what you do, she said. I see you on the inside of everything that I wish I could stand for. She said, you are the best friend I always wanted. When I feel like I am neglecting you, you come back and you hug me. And she looked at me. She said, everything that I ever imagined in childhood, the best friend that I wanted growing up, I found it in you as adults. Who knew? And there we were, exchanging memories from other lifetimes. Well, we didn't know each other, but we knew one another from somebody else's happiness. And here we were, sharing them again. Best friends come in waves like griefs. Sometimes they're here and sometimes they're gone, but they show up just when you need them. And I love that. There go the poem I just threw off my head, Uncle. So this poem that I'm going to do is called At a Girl. And At a Girl is a book that I'm working on. And so she's almost done. And I'll let you guys know. It's long and awaited, and it's a really short poem. I wrote it for myself because I felt something growing inside me, and I was really happy in that moment. So. You feel it, don't you? The energy in the air, the drive and ambition, so vehemently, and of it you are aware. Wanting because of need to touch, you close your eyes and leap. You'll bump your head along the way, however, remain on your feet. Atta girl, keep going. Don't be scared. Here, take my hand. I'll show you the way. With an attitude like yours, you'll be a star someday. I see you shining, even in a rainstorm. Don't stop now. Keep going. Atta girl, a star is born. I don't have any more poems right now. I mean, I do. I got a whole bunch, but no, we got like 5 minutes. But I want to thank you all for coming. I really, really appreciate it. It means a lot to me. Thank you, Uncle. I did it. I really got through my set. Oh, my God. I did it. I really did. I got through my set. Good.
Put your hands together. Marie Chante.
Thank you, Ernest. Thank y'all.
Mr. Jamie Carter joining us on guitar. Ernest Bisson over there on the violin. So I'm sure you have one more.
Thank
Do
you.
you?
I do.
And
I did the two, Uncle. Now there's just one.
and besides, she's writing a book, y'all. She's got a book now. She's not gonna give you the whole book right now.
Y'all pray for me, because when I was telling this story the other day, I thought, girl, you still got that bad habit. So anyway, people often ask, how did you become a public speaker or a speaker or a writer? When did you first start? My teacher in fourth grade, Miss Williams, I went to Anthony Overton Elementary in Chicago, and she gave us an assignment to do, and I did not finish the assignment. But I was also a little girl and ignorant and not knowing no better. And I stood up there in the beginning in the class, and y'all could see these letters, right? And I stood up there and I kept reading even when there were no words. And I didn't realize that my teacher could see that there ain't no words on this paper. And there I was talking about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and everything he stood for, his whole family. And I listed off his kids' names and everything. And she looking at me like, okay, no, not okay, but okay. And she called me back to her desk and she said, you know what? I don't know why you didn't finish your homework, and I don't even care. But because you did what you did, it really let me know that you don't get this role. I wanted to be the mother and mother to son. We was doing an adaptation of Langston Hughes's Mother to Son. And I wanted to be the mom because I had a mama at home and a grandmama, and I kind of knew what mamas be doing. Nope. She was like, no, I need you to be the narrator. And I didn't know what a narrator was. And, the rest is history. So thank you, Miss Williams, for seeing in me on that day. But then the other day I thought about it and was like, you still got that habit. I owe some homework to some teachers. So this poem, I'm going to have to hold myself accountable for it, okay?
Well, atta girl.
I did get an A that day, Uncle. Okay. Yep. I'm going to give myself permission to be brave, to finish what I start, to see a thing through, to not be timid or shrink back because I'm afraid of what people might think of me, to be vulnerable, to lay myself across the pages that want me to write on them and just be, to understand that maybe, just maybe, I'm supposed to be a writer, and people are supposed to read my stories, and they're supposed to want to come alive, and they're supposed to want to find themselves on the other side of something that I wrote. I'm supposed to be here in this moment, and I'm going to give myself permission to do just that, to be the writer I know I can be, to finish something that I started, to be brave enough to see a thing through, because that's the good part, right? You cross the finish line. You don't get the accolades until you're done. Yeah, I can cheer myself on along the way, but I'm going to imagine what it'll feel like on that day when it's all done and I turn my assignments in and I finish what I've started. And I've given myself permission to just sit back and look at all of my works being shared in the world, because the world needs me, right? I know they say the world does not revolve around me, but baby, let me tell you, I beg to differ. It has to, because it moves whether I want it to or not. So who but me is it revolving around? I get it. I'm supposed to be humble and docile, but not in this lifetime. I have learned that nothing comes from the docile except for the people who try to get over on the meek. I have learned that if I humble myself and remain there, that they'd even try to step on me too. You see, it's the difference between allowing life to humble you and you to carry a humble spirit. And I, for one, am tired of being the person that everybody looks at and think, I've put out one too many fires, enough to know that I wish my son's dad hadn't died in one. I've swallowed the ocean enough to know that if I drown, who will come and save me? You see, it is okay, I'm going to tell myself, to finish what you start, to be brave and bold, to not shrink back, to not be docile or timid, to look myself in the mirror and just be. So, this is my accountability piece. To finish what I start, to be brave, to not shrink back, and to just be. Thank you.
Marie Chante.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you all for coming. Thank you, Crowdcast. Thank you, Harlan Boss of Arts. Did I say that right?
The Harlan Boss Foundation for the
Harlan
Arts.
Boss Foundation for the Arts. That's who sponsored this series. And thank you, Walker West.
Now you see
Good
why
night.
I called her a spoken word warrior. It's not enough for her to say artist. Anybody can be an artist. That's a warrior.
you.
Put your hands together one more time.
Thank
Marie
you, thank you.
Chante. Jamie Carter. Ernest Bisson. We want to thank Mr. Braxton Halsey as the executive director of Walker West, but we especially want to thank our crew. Put your hands together for Jim. He's our director. Jerome, our sound engineer. Benny, running around with the old-fashioned camera that you go click with, not your telephone, young lady, a real camera. And Ernest Bisson, who is the curator of this series, the RONDO Community Music Series.
I'm off. Oh, thank you. I also want to thank some volunteers that are in the audience and staff. Miss Penda, hi. Thank you. Thank you, Danita. Thank you, Chelsea, for doing an amazing job last week. I think that's Lawrence back there. Hey, Lawrence, I thought that was your hat. Hey, Lawrence. Hi, Liz. Thank you, Liz. Thank you, Earl Ross. Thank you. And thank you to our parents who are in the audience. I see y'all. All right. Thank you. And thank you, family. My family came. My uncle, my cousins, and my godmom. Love y'all.
One more question, though, before you go, Marie.
Yes.
When will the book be out?
Child.
Holding you accountable.
Yeah. It's in the process. Soon,
That's
this
a
year.
good enough answer.
This year. But we also have some other events. So watch our calendar for
How
other
do we
events.
watch your calendar?
WalkerWest.org.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Miss Marie Chante. And I'm Jackie Maddox from KFAI Radio. And on my radio show, which airs at 4 o'clock on Tuesday afternoons, the show is called Songs of the Soul. But on my show, I hold a particular premise that the musicians of today are really the shaman of yesterday. The magic makers, they are still alive and well. And with that in mind, I want to leave you with a poem, a spoken word piece from an author known as Arthur O'Shaughnessy. This was written in 1888, not 1988. This is how old this piece is. And he says, "We are the magic makers and we are the dreamers of dreams, sitting by lone sea breakers and walking by desolate streams, world losers and world forsakers, on whom the pale moon gleams, and yet we are the movers and shakers of the world forever it seems. Musicians as shaman, thank you all for coming. We'll see you on the 11th of May. The Tower of Power horns will be in the house. You don't want to miss that.